here we come to the details of precepts or commandments. Well, here I must say that religion is a question of choice. Even though we are all already born into a certain religion. But from the Kabbalistic point of view, it is only when we reach a certain level of maturity, spiritual maturity, that we can really choose, and we should choose, our religion. So it's not a question of converting, it's a question of choosing my path.
And how does this all relate to modern science?
Well, again, the language of the Kabbalah is universal and beyond time, beyond culture, beyond creed and faith and pragmatic way of thinking. That is why all what we hear now from modern scientists talking about quantum physics, talking about the theory of relativity of Einstein, of time, trying to, again, expand our horizons, expand the human mind, to tap into that source of wisdom, which is one and all-embracing. So once we do that, we see that modern science is talking the same language and it is exposing the same concepts that the Kabbalists talk about 4,000, 5,000 years ago.
Can you give me an example?
Well, just
other than you said relativity, Einstein, but is there something specific maybe in the past?
the theory of the Big Bang. Now that is something very crucial in the understanding of how our universe began. Now, what the Kabbalah adds is not only the how, because, for example, a great Kabbalist Rabbi Luria of the 16th century, he already exposed the whole theory of the Big Bang. But of course, his language was not a scientific language, it was a Kabbalistic language. What is the difference? If I may say, science concentrates on the how, the physical procedure of the creation. Kabbalist concentrates also on the why, the reason. So if a Big Bang happened, the question is, why? How is very important, but why? So once we ask why, then we tap into what is called cosmic intelligence. And here the Kabbalah explains that our entire universe is not a vacuum. It is full of thought, intelligence, consciousness. Everything, the planets, the galaxies, the suns, the solar system, all what we see and call space is full of thought, energy, intelligence. So once we understand that the Big Bang is a timeless event, and time is very relative, then the Big Bang is happening now.
Can you explain that?
It is a process that is all the time happening. It's not a one-time event. So like Genesis, we think that God in a one-time event created the universe, the heavens and the earth, and that's it. But the Kabbalah comes and says no. If we open the concept of the parallel universe, which is also a scientific concept, which is also a Kabbalistic concept, and it's not new to the Kabbalists that there are many parallel universes. We, as human beings, we are multi-dimensional beings. And we live at the same time, at the same moment, in many dimensions. Now the question is how to connect between these dimensions, which are timeless. So the Big Bang is going on all the time in the parallel universe, the universe beyond the five senses. Once we connect to that dimension of parallel universe, then we can exercise our free will, because the Big Bang did not happen as an accident. It was a pre-planned event. And once we enter into that dimension of consciousness, then we enter into the original way of how we think as divine human beings. And at that moment, we start interacting with the process of creation, which is happening all the time, constantly. So the creation is all the time going through a big bang and a renewing process of its own energy, its own life energy force.
So you're saying God is always creating at every moment.
Exactly. So that's it. So God is not somebody who just created something, a big business, and just went off to retire. No, that is very funny to think that way. So the creation on that dimension is all the time happening, and we can tap into that process and be part of it. This ongoing, renewing force, life force energy of the creation.
So, leading up to that question, who is God in Kabbalah?
Going back to the Book of Formation, and as I said, that is the basic foundation of any Kabbalist. And once we open that book, we understand that the Kabbalists, yes, they had a certain code, a certain language that they spoke among themselves, and they were able to communicate. This language is very necessary because if I describe something spiritual or metaphysical using physical terms, it's a mission impossible. So we have to find a metaphysical language to describe metaphysical events and occurrences. And this is what we find in the Book of Formation. So the term God, from a Kabbalistic point of view, is a code. God is not an entity. It's not a being, a physical being or a being with an image or that we can imagine. The term God is a code. And in Hebrew, it appears by the name Elohim. And how does the Kabbalist decipher this code? So Elohim is deciphered in such a manner to describe the collective divine consciousness of all mankind. That is Elohim.
So not the literal meaning of Elohim, which is God.
Well, there you go. So now we go to the Hebrew language, and as you mentioned, which is true, the word Elohim is plural. In singular, it is Eloha, which can be, translated as God, but Elohim is gods in plural. And this can create a big contradiction with the whole concept of monotheism. How does the Kabbalist relate to monotheism? Is a Kabbalist a monotheistic person, an atheist, a polytheistic? I mean, what is a Kabbalist?
Because what you're saying, in essence, is that we are all gods by relating Elohim to human consciousness.
Yes.